Welcome back to another UTES stream, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. How are you guys doing? My name is Z-Line. I'll be one of your casters for today, and I'm joined with the lovely and expert knowledge-knowing Sarah Soon. How are you doing tonight?
Expert knowledge. I mean, that might be setting the bar a little high, but I'm good. I'm happy to be here. So what are we looking at today?
We are looking at a UTLA split winter intramural game today, of course. We had a couple going on, throughout the rest of the semester as well. But it's going to be an exciting game for today because we're going to be seeing the game between Team T1 or Team 1, as well as, 5 losing roles. These two teams are definitely some heavy hitters, and it's going to be an exciting series.
Yeah, looking forward to a good series. It is going to be best of one, so it'll just be a one and done game. But hopefully there's a lot of exciting action. And, it's entertaining to watch.
110%. And it looks like we're choosing the sides and talking about the sides right now. Team 5 losing roles is actually going to be choosing that blue side. And let's talk a little bit about the teams to introduce them. 5 losing roles, you got their top laner, Mr. Stark himself, really rich. Got the jungler, 3 winning lanes and go for that jungle. On the mid lane, we got Akari. Saw them play, the Ahri before, so I'm definitely expecting them to play Ahri again. We got ADC being ADC once again, and also we got support played by Tuition Fee. On the other side, we also got Team 1. Seriously, who do we got on that team?
Well, for the top lane, we have Denoxys. Jungle, we have Nifty, and then the mid Gunshark, Waffles on ADC, and Jay on that support. And so I think from what we've seen, all of the signature champions that look to be, really on all different sorts of the spectrum, enchanters versus engaged tanks. ADCs are obviously all scaling, but then we see assassins and mages. And I think for Team 1, the strategy here is definitely going to be to go for those early kills, prevent the enemy team from scaling. We're going to pick skirmishing junglers and go for those kill lanes in the bot lane to try to scale up quickly and really just keep 5 losing roles, try to keep them down to prevent them from gaining the upper hand.
I'm definitely looking forward to that fight in the mid lane as well. Akari playing that mid lane Ahri, where I feel like this patch, or was it the patch before, enchanters have been, or like AP carries have been like really, really strong. We even seen like a Seraphine ADC at 1.2, which was interesting to say the least. But Gunshark, we don't know exactly who they're gonna pick, so it's gonna be quite the interesting battle between these two players.
Yeah, that's true. This patch and I think the last patch, there was a lot of mages in the bot lane trying to play really, really safe and just, scale up, try to play without too much risk. But I think with looking at more kill lanes, certainly makes for a more exciting spectator sport. But definitely playing on the more riskier side, a very snowbally game League of Legends can be at times depending on the meta. So we'll have to see how this game really plays out.
100%. And I think, definitely you're more knowledgeable about League of Legends compared to me. That's for sure, guys. Okay, today we're gonna get a carry caster, and that's gonna be serious, all right? I am just a guest caster here, just humble little Z Lion here, just trying their best to keep up with the action. So seriously, is definitely gonna be casting more of the action for y'all today. But speaking about League of Legends, and the other side, we also got TFT. I am more knowledgeable on the TFT side at least. But are you looking forward to the new set? Did you see the new set yet?
I mean, I didn't really look at it. I saw the theme was sort of like, the project skins with like cyberspace and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't really taken a look. Honestly, this set for me personally has been, a touch underwhelming with a lot of the reroll comps and like Cam Baron, Lose Streak being really good. But I don't know. Tell me about that. What is going to be in the new set?
I haven't looked too much on the new set either, but it's coming very, very soon. I do see a couple like old traits coming back. There's, I think Bastion is coming back. You also have what is it? Anima Squad, I think, was also coming back too, which you've seen the previous sets as well. So I think some of the old kind of traits are coming back from previous sets are also coming back to this new set that's coming forward too. So I'm looking forward to that. This current set though, with like the whole theme being like arcane and everything like that, I actually have been enjoying it a lot. You say it's very reroll compy, which I do agree with. If you ever get Ken Barrett, it's just, and someone cashes out at like 700 or like even like 600, it's literally just GG for you. It's terrible. It's actually so bad, but definitely had a lot of fun with that, that's for sure. But going back to this split or this game that's going to happen very, very soon, well, we also take a look at picks and bans. What are you kind of expecting from this team, or from both teams, Team 1 as well as 5 losing roles, what these picks and bans are going to be, specifically the bans, I guess, because I know it's like very much role dependent, as well as like if they're going to be targeted bans, because both teams have access to each other's kind of op.gg or like their most played champions as well. But I guess what has been a couple of really meta champions that you think would be a really good ban for this game tonight?
Well, I definitely think a lot of the stronger champions overall, I really expect to see a Darius ban. Of course, as we saw Denoxys, if we look at the team sheet and look at the sort of the match history, there's a lot of Darius being played alongside some of these other like top lane juggernauts or tanks, Cassante, Garen, and even some duelists. I remember seeing an Irelia before, but I think Darius definitely can be such a problem throughout the entire game, right? Early game, taking those early fights with the passive, very hard to contest, and then going into the late game, if you could just one shot an ADC by catching them out, very, very dangerous. As well, I think it really depends on the target ban and depends on, if these players on either team are really looking to shut down one specific player that, maybe they think is going to be the major threat. And so I'm honestly not super sure how it's going to play out. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I mean, in terms of like target bans, the only person that I can say like for sure like it's going to pick like a certain champion is definitely Akari. You know, it's in the name. Like Akari is definitely a very, very strong Ari player. So, but in terms of like bans and stuff like that, I'm not super, super I'm knowledgeable about that to be quite frank. But I remember when M-Bessa first came out, M-Bessa was like a really big issue for just like regular comp games or for people even scrimming, just because I think the biggest point about everyone saying like, oh, M-Bessa was broken, like yada yada yada, was more so they weren't really familiar with the kit. So then you don't really know how to counteract certain combos that come up because the champion's so new. But as you know, people have kind of seen get their footing getting used to M-Bessa as like a character or as a champion on the opponent's side or even on the teammate side too. I definitely think it's become less of an issue. But I do agree with you. Would be a really good ban in terms of like on the more meta side of things. I think another good ban would be probably I could be completely wrong here, but like I feel like I don't know which player exactly, but I remember one of the players from one of these teams was a very, very big Kane player. So I think Kane could be definitely a good ban here too.
That's true. I'm not super sure how good Kane has been recently, but definitely if we're specifically target banning players, the most played champions, I mean, as they say, you should always be playing for comfort more than just the tier list. And with that being said, I'm noticing that, if it were me and I was sort of playing in these games, I would very easily just take a look at the opponent's ranks and look at the highest ranked player and then ban their most played champion. That's usually how my clash games and stuff like that go, which tends to work out, you know at least some of the time. And looking at it here, I definitely think that is like certainly a strategy. I mean, there's one of two things, right? You can ban for the players or you can ban for the tier list, and it really depends on, I guess, the faith. Do you believe that your opponents can, play anything, or is it really like a one trick pony kind of player? And that's the gamble, That's always the gamble that we have to be doing here.
But like in your personal experience, like you've played some Clash with friends, and I assume since you just mentioned Clash, I personally haven't played like too much Clash and like on my side. But as a Clash player and having like teammates, how important is like communication for these kind of like 5v5 kind of tournament mode games, would you say? Because usually on your comp or your normal games, your rated, your unrated games, right? These like you don't really have much comms with like your teammates, and minus like some pings here and there. But then if you're playing Clash with like friends, then you're probably in a call with them and you're able to kind of get that communication, it gets like a bit faster. Like, do you think that's a very big difference that would make in terms of one team having better comms than the other one? Or do you think it's not really too much of a contributor, it's more so just like an individual skill basis?
Yeah, I think it really depends. I think, especially in a clash game where there can be a lot of disparity between like team members that you wouldn't really see in like a norms or even like a ranked game where, one player is in, just for example, like silver 2 or whatever, and then another player's up there in diamond. If we're looking at those kinds of teams, it's very, very easy. And I think even a preferred strategy to really just stick the other players on a very safe champion. I know, for example, like a Sejuani in the jungle is quite safe. The clears are simple, and the ganks are very simple. And then just have the higher level players sort of pilot the macro game. And so in that case, the communication was actually a lot more important in the Clash games than in something like a solo duo queue in the norms or even in the ranked setting. And I guess overall, you really just have to look at communication as a team to make those, I guess, cross the map plays on the level of like even like a Shen or Galio are, but even on, when to team fight, when to give Dragon, when to, contest it, is a lot of these different kinds of communications that people might not really agree on in those games, without team chat or without, like voice chat to really talk about it. Not to say I think they should implement that. League players notoriously are incredibly toxic, and one shudders at the thought of voice chat in our ranked games. But even then, I think, especially in a clash game or even in a game like this where it's like a tournament setting, everyone's on call. Whether or not it's casual or whether or not it's a bit more serious with whatever's on the line, it's really just about playing together as a team. The old saying goes, it's better to make the wrong play as a team than to do the right play alone. And in League of Legends, that rings completely true. Very little that one single player can do on their own, which is why communication is just such a big factor.
Okay, I see. Because like honestly, I'm kind of comparing, like this is not a good comparison by any means like possible, but I'm kind of thinking like, because I'm definitely more well versed in Valorant, right? So Valorant is very much like a comms game, but then at the same time, if you have like one teammate that's like a Radiant who's like basically like equivalent in like League would be Challenger, and they're just absolutely owning, you could basically have that one Challenger player or a Radiant player just solo carry the game, right? While for like League of Legends, because you have like so many other moving aspects or moving parts to it, you have like wave clear, you have gold, you have itemization, as well as just like team play, team dives. It makes it kind of harder for like these like 1v5 situations to kind of outpace or out kind of, I guess, like position a team that has better comms, right? So it seems like for League of Legends, it's definitely more like communication is really important, even if you have someone who's really strong. And then before Valorant on that end, it's like, oh, one player is just like literally one taps like five people. Like it's GG. You know what I mean? But speaking about like targeted bans as well, we see like we talked about how these players, they have kind of access to each other's like information in terms of not in a weird way, but in terms of like what are their most played kind of champions. Also talk about their ranks, right? We got the team with like Jay, Waffles, Gunshark, Nifty, and Denoxys. They have a lot of very high elo, diamond, emerald, plat players, right? So I definitely think the kind of aiming for the bans, or if you're going to do target bans, it's definitely going to be aimed at more towards like Waffles or Gunshark. But on the other side, we got Stark, Akari, ADC, as well as tuition fee and 3 winning lanes. ADC is masters, okay? This guy is a master player, so I definitely am expecting, Danasis' team to go for a targeted ban on ADC on, as we know, ADC, so I don't know. I'm really looking forward to these bans here, but as the bans come through and we're waiting on that too. I mean, what about for you? Do you think that they're gonna target, ADC because he's a master player, just because they're so high elo?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to just sort of fall into not necessarily the trap, but just the mindset that, we have to ban this guy out, like the best player on the team. Whether or not that's actually true, but, just looking at the ranks, it's easy to get that impression. And looking through the information, the match history, I would be very, very surprised if Tristana doesn't get banned out this game, especially in a best of one situation. No time to adapt in the next games. It's really just a one and done. So, try to get those highest percentage chance of victory. We're really looking at what it comes down to is just ban their champions, ban their best champions, look at who's playing, where the threats are, and just think about what you really don't want to see in your games. And a Fed Tristana is definitely one of those things.
A Fed Tristana, Fed AD carry is going to be definitely super, super hard to play against, or just going to be really annoying in general. I am kind of expecting like a very quick gank coming forward, like maybe on either teams, honestly, but mostly on the team with, that are fighting against a Masters ADC player. I'm definitely expecting the opponents to go for that fast flank or it's not off flank, fast gank in order to, kind of put one above or get like an early start and shut them down and just let them snowball a lead early on in the early game, right? So that's definitely going to be something that we're gonna look out for too. And yeah, like the players are getting ready. Sorry guys, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but it's okay, don't worry about it. But let's talk about individual. I'm very curious because definitely you play Clash. You also TFT enjoy it as well. We played a game before this, guys, so we were so close to winning, but we didn't. But it's okay. But who do you play? Like, what is the role that you gravitate the most to for League of Legends, and what champion? I'm gonna judge you on this, by the way.
Oh, I'm being judged here. Okay, well,
100%.
there's a couple answers. I've been told by a lot of people that my three most played champions make me look like an absolute psycho.
What?
Because all right, here are the three in no particular order because I don't remember. It is Blitzcrank, Yasuo, and Yumi.
What the heck? What pardon my French, but what? Wait, that's so wait, like Yasuo support or like Yasuo like
No,
like
Yasuo. I used to play a lot of Yasuo mid, but then I sort of switched to more support role. And in the beginning, I had a very strange mindset coming into the game where I was just like, what's the funny champion? Like what would be really funny? And the answer is Blitzcrank. The answer is hitting a random hook, pointing in just the wrong direction. If it misses, you say, I was trying to read a flash. If it hits by accident, everyone thinks you're a genius. And, I was really chasing that high. But I think Blitzcrank genuinely a really good champion. Hooks can turn games, can turn fights in an instant. And,
just the kidnap
Tanky,
champion.
Like the huge silence, the huge, shield break. It's really funny. And then the Yumi was interesting. I mean, there was a time that when you're bored of League of Legends, sometimes you don't want to use your mouse, You just want to like sit there and do nothing and really have Yumi earn that reputation that she deserves of being completely worthless. Well, okay, that's an overstatement.
Excuse me, are you trying to defend Yumi right now? Are we in the midst of a Yumi defender? Please tell me this is not true.
Well, see, the Yumi. Okay, is the problem Yumi or is the problem Yumi players? That's the question we really have to be asking here.
Oh my god.
Because I mean, we can say it's both. We can just say it's both.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna have to stand up for Chad here. Okay, I feel like Chad, guys, please don't be meaning to this. Okay, even though he's a Yumi player, we still love him. Okay, we still love Saracen, right? But I feel like Yumi is like just a very infuriating like champion to play against. And okay, I've touched Yumi a couple of times, but it's like not my favorite because you're literally sitting there and pressing E and pressing Q every now and then too. But okay, so your champion was Blitzcrank, which is hee hee ha ha kidnap champion. And then oh my god, which like brings me totally back to I had a game before where before Skarner was reworked. Remember how Skarner was able to kidnap people?
Skarner can still kidnap people.
Yeah, well, when Skarner like kidnaps, I have 100% like just the biggest PTSD from Skarner being kidnapped by my friends. People who are in chat who are my friends, they know what's going on. But yeah, so that's definitely it. But speaking about these PTSD and also picking champions, let's take a look at what is being picked today in this game. Let's take a look at this draft and what are these bans gonna be. Again, team 1 versus team 5 losing roles. Both teams are gonna be quite the series, and the first step to that is definitely going to be picking those champions. And let's see if this Darius can get banned. Oh, okay. Got a little hover towards the Jace. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, you see that first of all, we're looking at the Jace getting banned here. I definitely remember seeing a lot of Jace on the sort of match history, and we're looking at the other ban, hovering Talia right now. And that ban is going to get locked in. Excuse me. Talia, a very strong jungler, being able to gank from all sorts of places with that ult, and with the burst damage, it's really gonna have a lot of impact there. And now we see the Akali ban, and it looks like we're hovering a Karma ban as well.
Karma, my goats. Oh my, Akali as well. Oh, Akali is really annoying in the mid lane, especially if Akali like kind of snowballs like early game. Late game Akali can be quite dangerous for the team, so that is definitely a ban. Oh my god, my lord and savior Thresh, please don't ban Thresh. I love Thresh so much. Again, this is a best of 1 series, ladies and gentlemen, so if either of these teams lose this game, they're not able to do like a matchup's not best of 3, so they can't really adapt afterwards or adapt in the second game, right? So they are gonna have to play the strongest that they can based on these bans, and then also adjust accordingly. And of course, like if they're able to adjust and adapt quicker during this game, it's gonna be better. So definitely see that Thresh pick going through. I'm a dirty support main, so that hurts my heart. So there's that. We also saw Jinx being banned too by Team 1. And now looking at the picks, we got Ari. Who's gonna pick that? I kind of feel like there's only one person that can be the Ari player. Like correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's true. We called it, and a signature champion getting locked in. Obviously, like we had mentioned so many times, best of 1. You play for comfort. You ban out what you perceive to be the biggest threats, and whatever happens. Looking at a Caitlyn pick on the ADC for Team 1, and the Darius, yet again another comfort pick, or well, it's being hovered right now. We'll see if they lock it in. But like we mentioned, it's looking to be
it's locked in
just as expected, and there is the lock in.
Oh my god, you got the Darius, you got to lock in on the GP as well. Darius against GP, and then now looking at Xin Zhao as well. I mean, as you said too, like Darius is going to be really, really strong late game. So you said that was a really good kind of like meta ban, but having, Team 1 pick that specific champion it's going to be interesting. Is to see if they can really make do with its kit, as well as over time see if they're able to snowball and also provide a little bit more for the team in late game. Xin Zhao's going to get locked in as well. We also got the Vi. Vi versus Caitlyn. Are any Arcane fans out there? It's going to be the fight between the two lovers right now. 5 losing roles versus Team 1. Sound like Romeo and Juliet right now, so what can I say?
Yeah. And looking at these, actually we're getting some more bans of Phelios's ban, and looking like we're hovering the Nami ban as well. No! But looking at these two junglers, both very, dive heavy, engage heavy, we're just definitely going in and trying to eliminate the key threats. But now we're banning the more enchanters, I guess. Soraka being hovered in the ban right now. And based on the pick of junglers, it looks like, they're really trying to have that early game presence, trying to stop other people, and also being able to lock them down in the late game. These are very strong picks when the team really revolves around a few key players, and they don't necessarily have a wall or like a really good tank to block them off. Braum is banned.
Soraka, it seems like the bans coming from 5 losing roles seems very targeted towards the support player on Team 1, because you got the Thresh, you got the Nami, you also got the Braum, and those are some pretty classic or pretty classic like support champions in general. But now there's the pick coming through. You got Tristana as well as not Yumi.
Oh my god.
Okay, take it away, Yumi player. Take it away. You have your commentary.
Yumi pick. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if that's good here. I mean, Tristana is left open, and I guess Yumi sitting on a Tristana is always very dangerous with the speed and the extra slows down, and all of the healing, the durability is going to be very important there. But Tristana versus Caitlyn, in the early game, of course, Caitlyn outranges. But as the game goes on, Tristana definitely catches up in terms of range with the passive level up, giving more and more attack range. But looking at Team 1, we have, the Taric and the Caitlyn versus the Tristana and the Yumi. The bot lane matchup is definitely going to be, I think, is a bit of a slow burn. But now that the draft is in, we can now go to the game as the teams are loading in, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm still on this like Tristana Yumi matchup. I also love 5 losing lanes, like their logo, it's great. They got permission from the teammate to put the face as a logo, but it's still very, very funny. But anyways, going back to the game, games that start off right now and see if they're gonna go for an invade or some pings over there. They might go for invade, they might hold for just hold that position, but still, again, Yumi on the support is gonna be a fun game to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've yet to see Yumi at the top level of play. People tend not to pick a champion that has such low agency, we'll say. But hold on, maybe something's going on in the top lane. A lot of, Team 1 looking here. Bit of pokes, a bit of trading going on, but nothing too crazy just yet.
It's getting spotted out, and they're gonna channel back and just go back to the base and try to reset. I think they were trying to go for this like invade, but it didn't really quite work out. They got low poked again. Now they're gonna be in position trying to get towards that bot lane, mid lane, as well as fight for their jungle. And already ADC as well as the support is just, you know, sitting in the little bush, you know, just waiting for a little information. And again, I'm gonna be looking at that Yuumi and Tristana all game. I'm not gonna lie, because I still can't believe Yuumi got chose.
You know, maybe we summoned it with the prophecy or something, but you know, I think it'll be really interesting to see how much of an impact we're going to see all outside the map. I'm interested in this top lane matchup too. Gangplank and Darius, very high damage champions, but you know, let's see this early engage in the bot lane. A bit of damage onto Jay.
First time is coming through, mid lane as well. Kari getting a couple pokes towards Gunshark. Gunshark kind of being zoned off a little bit, but just holding for that CS. Looks like Kari has a bit of the upper hand right now, but you know, it's still so early into the game, so you wouldn't really know for sure.
Yeah, the early trades, getting the health lead, being able to, you know, farm up very efficiently is always very important in the early game. Yeah, and we'll just have to see sort of how these players are going to, you know, try to gain some leads, try to push their leads, and everyone's really just looking to farm up at this stage of the game. Of course, everyone's going to be playing too safe. There's no room for error in a series like this. I don't even know if I should say series. It's one game.
It's a field one, bro. It's a field one. Don't forget. Starts to get a couple of picks on Denoxys. Gonna force them back slightly, but Denoxys is gonna stall that lane right there on the top lane. Akari and Gunshark still pretty evenly matched between these two. You know, CS is not too far apart. They're just off one from each other. It's gonna be a quick level up going for it, trying to dive into Kari. Gets the charm down, but doesn't quite finish out the kill. But Gunshark's running for its life, trying to back up towards that lane, and it looks like Kari's gonna come out on top for that fight there.
Yeah, Gunshark barely staying out of that turret range. It might have been curtains if he was just a little bit closer, but thankfully that wasn't the case, and we're just going to look at more pokes. Oh my goodness, and the charm coming out. The Foxfire, electrocute, but it's not enough to kill with the flash. I mean, calling out a flash of their own from Gunshark just to stay alive.
Gunshark has the sums are burned through, so you know what's going on there. It's gonna Akari just. It was just so unfortunate. If the flash shouldn't have popped there, and could have secured the first kill for their team. And it's going to be, again, looking at that top matchup, Stark as well as Noxus, pretty evenly matched still. 4 CS away, 5 CS, my apologies, between the two. So they're still more or less very close to each other. Kari hasn't backed up yet, and so gonna have to maybe plan to back up very soon though.
Yeah, Nifty being spotted on this pink ward. Gonna make Akari play a little bit safer because we're ready with the counter gank from the bot side. Oh, but it looks like something's going on here. Gunshark looking to get the engage, but Akari with the vision beforehand, playing a little bit safer, was ready for it. Looking back at the top lane, Stark almost out of mana, been poking out Denoxys with all of these gangplank Qs, getting the barrels, getting a lot of good damage, but not a lot of resources left in the tank.
Health is very low as well. The minions are being pushed up as well too. Has to back up slightly. ADC still with his trusty little Yuumi, the little pet cat there, a little help with some poke, but the poke's not really quite land, but it's okay. The bot lane looks pretty evenly matched as well. 25-32. CS is a little bit better towards the Caitlyn side, but you know, that's a-okay. Akari's gonna spot through, gets the damage, a little poke damage once again, but doesn't quite finish anything else there.
Yeah, nearly 5 minutes into the game, the gold is looking very even. A 300 gold deficit towards Team 1 right here. But, you know, 300 gold is just one kill, and so these teams are both very, very close in terms of gold. Of course, not a lot of action has happened. Everyone is just, you know, trying to CS, trying to get items, trying to scale up to where they can do some real damage. Oh, but here we go, fight in the top lane.
Denoxys, I guess. Beautiful first blood.
The level advantage on that Darius, getting 5 stacks, you know, Stark teleporting right into the middle of a lane that, or a minion wave that no longer exists, is an easy kill for Darius. Gangplank has nowhere to go.
And that's one step closer to a late game Darius overtaking the game, that's for sure. Pushing up that main already, and it's gonna back will find that timing to go back. You know, with that much money, it's gonna be maybe half an idle component up compared to, you know, the Gangplank too. You know, also got the dragons coming through as well. So 1-0. Look at the goal differential already. 9.1 versus 8.5. You got 6k deficit in 5 losing lanes, I believe, that team. So still not too bad, but you know, it always starts somewhere, right? Q coming through, tries to get Waffles and knows that they're alone, but doesn't quite finish anything else. Waffles able to find the timing to get back under turret.
Yeah, that's true, but a lot of poke coming down. They are definitely going to get pushed under the turret, maybe lose a bit of CS, while it looks like Jay on that Taric is going to roam, gonna look to secure the Void Grubs, especially they've already taken the Dragon. A little bit of a fight coming in, Gunshark taking the Ahri ult, GP ult comes down, going to try to kill that Xin Zhao as Gunshark goes on to Akari right here. The Xin Zhao just not dying, 3 winning lanes, unable to get the damage in, especially with the Jay there for the support. The Enchanter healing, 3 winning lanes, escapes with their life, but Gunshark is in hot pursuit, still has the Ahri ult, and it just goes away. 3 winning lanes escapes with their life, and Team 1 secures the Void Grubs.
Very good target prio there, even though chasing down Akari, knowing that, you know, that the teammate there was very low, but understanding that, hey, it's fine, you know, Jay is close by, you know, we got a bunch of the other teammates walking down towards the top riverside too, towards the grubs too, so, you know, just focusing on Akari to get that kill put them in like quite a good position there.
Yeah, and actually I really like this plan of leaving Waffles in the bot lane by themselves. You know, really just being able to farm under tower, using that extra range on the Caitlyn, while Jay can really go make an impact in other parts of the map like we just saw there. Leaving Waffles with the level advantage as well. And Jay back in lane here, let's see if they look to make something happen.
Back in lane Mindy's blue buffs can get secured by 3 main lanes as they're, you know, back to doing the jungling things. And Akari is back in line towards that mid lane there. You know, CS, let's look at CS. 48 compared to 57 when in the mid lane. Silas is definitely ahead there. He also has a kill under her belt, so it could be a little bit dangerous for Akari to try to fight for anything here.
Yeah, but we see the biggest deficit in the top lane, almost a 30 CS lead for Denoxys over Stark. That early kill, that early blunder from Stark, teleporting, you know, all the way up there where there is no safety and no protection, allowing Denoxys to get that kill, has really gone a long way, and we'll have to see if, you know, they can sort of get it under control or if it's going to steamroll into something even more dangerous.
Kind of looking forward to maybe potentially Xin Zhao diving or ganking the bot side. He is towards that bot lane, so they could do something here to try to, you know, shut down the Yuumi and the Tristana there. Beautiful charm coming through onto the Silas, but doesn't quite get them quite in their tower. Kari's really low on HP as well, has to back up.
Yeah, but Nifty looking like in danger right now. A lot of the units are coming in, escapes with their life. Of course, after taking that Scuttle Crab, a lot of vision control coming down in the bot side, with the Dragon coming at 1 minute and about 30 seconds from now.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the bot lane here. You're getting collapsed on by basically everyone. 3 winning lanes coming in. The stun lands onto both of them, but the Vi ult coming in onto Waffles as Gangplank ult comes down, and Stark with the Gangplank ult taking down Waffles. But Gunshark coming in with, I think, the teleport, using the Vi R immediately with Jay, and it's a bit of a fist fight, but they have to back off. They just don't have the damage right now. And let's see, Jay is going to go down as well. Tristana getting the jump reset. But Gunshark is just going to walk it off there. But what an incredible play. Honestly, getting 2 kills for, you know, basically nothing. A couple of teleports and ultimates.
They wanted one, but they wanted another one, you know? One at a time. That's how it starts. It's 2v2 Gunshark versus Akari in the mid lane again. Gunshark is going to burn through a couple of abilities, half health as well. You know, Akari's in hot pursuit, trying to secure the kill, but doesn't quite hit it there. And all of a sudden, it's back to both teams are now quite even in terms of kills, and the gold deficit is still hovering around 500, 600 in favor towards, you know, red side, but it's not looking too bad right now. But as you said, take a look at the top lane as well. 53 CS to 91 CS. There it's just the GP Stark is just kind of getting shut down by Denoxus here. Denoxus is not being afraid to step up and walk up despite the health difference there, and really just denying CS from Gangplank. It's gonna put them in such a good position late game.
Yeah, and I'd also like to point out that this next kill is going to be very important. It's the one that decides the first feat of strength. The other two are the first to 3 neutral objectives, which might actually just come down right here with the Void Grubs as well as the 2 dragons.
Red team will secure that Mountain and Drake there too, and back to lane it goes. But the Grubs are going to be secured by 3 minion lanes too. Hexates are activated as well. Let's talk about the feat of strength. How big of a difference does that make in the early game?
Honestly, I think from my experience playing, it's not as big of an advantage in the early game as you might think, as you might expect. More than anything, I feel honestly that it's more of a mental buff versus, like a mental debuff if you're on the losing side. But those upgraded boots later into the game, after you get 2 legendary items, can sometimes make a difference. And what, did we just miss a kill in the bot lane under tower? Like I said, don't sleep on the Yuumi.
We still got a Yuumi believer in chat, guys, and hey, listen, don't sleep on the Yuumi, but I feel like Tristana's doing an amazing job too, Got full item ready collector as well as the boots, 94 CS versus 98. Even though Caitlyn is above 4 CS on Tristana, the amount of kills, 201, got 2 kills, also got the bounty, 100 gold on bounty on her as well. So, as much as CS is important, the kills are really important as well. I definitely need to see Caitlyn kind of step up here and get a couple kills, or at least play low safer. Denox is going for that grab, does get a couple posts, gets some damage off on Stark, but it's gonna be that tower damage gonna push them away. It hurts a lot. You gotta back up and know when to quit,
Yeah, definitely. And Tristana using that advantage to be up, or to buy Collector early to try to get even more kills. But Yuumi going here with the team cleanse, just in case Taric lands like a weird stun, or if Tristana jumps into a Caitlyn trap, getting more ways to bail out your ADC and just to play a little bit more safe and to push that lead, definitely is gonna go a long way. We'll see how it pans out.
Jungle as well, 92 to 108, 109. A little bit of differential there, but not too much where it's like absolutely detrimental to the team. It's looking like team is honestly, my money's on blue right now. Akari is able to, even though it doesn't quite get as many kills as you want towards the mid lane, I still think Akari is in a really good position to do better later on as the game progresses as well. The CS as well, the difference between CS is not too bad too.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like as they're trying to push Waffles back under the tower here, maybe looking for another fight in the bot lane. Nifty on Shin Zhao coming in the stun onto the ADC, but 3 winning lanes there to bail them out. They don't really want to fight it. Better safe than sorry, of course, especially when, blue side has a lot of gold advantage right now in the bot lane in particular. But looking back at top side, Darius has completed the Shojins, maybe looking for a fight against the GP, but Ari is there. I don't think he's going to try to challenge it.
5 losing lanes. The gold is pretty even too. It's only 200 gold differential between the 2 teams here. Gunshot's gonna push that mid tower. We're gonna back up slightly to try to, find a little information. Does secure the chicken there too. Trying to fight 3 winning lanes, but Stark is not too far behind. And it's gonna be Gunshot stuck in the middle, airborne down for the count. And it's gonna be a secured kill by the GP onto Gunshot. But look who is there. It's gonna be Nifty, but they're caught in the middle of a 3v1, trying his best to get back to his ADC as well as his other teammates, but it's just gonna be so hard to run away. But just at the nick of time was saved by the teammates there. Great job by Team 5 losing lanes there.
Yeah,
5 losing roles.
Yeah, and I think a really good job by Waffles there, using those Caitlyn traps to really bail out the allies, a Shin Zhao ult as well, just to create some space, just to escape. Obviously, Gunter getting caught out trying to contest those jungle camps. Not the greatest, especially because, you know, Stark was close behind ready to pick up the kill there. But that's the thing about going into the enemy jungle when we don't have vision of the members. It is very dangerous. It's a bit of a gamble sometimes. And it looks to be just more farming all across the map. A bit of a lane switch for the top and mid of blue side.
Got a couple of bounties down as well, you know, Darius with the 100 bounty as well as Gangplank with the 105, 100 bounty as well, but 101. Gunshot doesn't get a beautiful attack towards Stark, and with Denoxys close by, they're gonna try to secure the kill, but not quite there yet as 3 winning lanes. Therefore, a little backup intimidation tactics as well, push them back a little bit.
Yeah, but importantly, they were able to burn Stark's flash right before the Hex Tech Drake fight. Trying to get some poke down. Gunshark maybe out of position, going back to the tower, falling back as the dragon gets started by Team 1.
Team 1 looking to get a little damage through, but it's going to be 5 losing rolls here to contest that Drake. They are in position, going to push back a little bit, but with 5v4, they're looking to step back a little bit and potentially find another angle to this approach. Channeling through. You know, and it looks like they're actually going to wait it out because Team 1 seems pretty insistent on securing this Drake there. You know, the rest of the team is coming through. ADC is there, 3 minion lanes also in position. Akari lurking in the bush to grab a little grab a little damage there, zoning them out slightly but surely, but the Team 1 is not going to let this go. They're not going to allow them to contest this Drake, not allow them to just walk all over them. Their French Gunshark a little bit out of position there once again. We're doubling back with the rest of the team, and it's going to be 5 losing rolls. They're looking really healthy, but ADC is taking a lot of damage there. Drake is halfway health, and both teams are still looking to secure this Drake.
Okay, the GPR comes down, and Nifty picks up the dragon, using that Terror ult. The entire team is invincible, and that's going to turn the fight. Gunshark using that Ari ult to chase everyone down. The Noxus pops Ghost. AD is not going to escape because of that Darius hook.
Oh no!
And the Yuumi goes down to the Darius ult as well. A triple kill for Denoxys. Incredible use of the Taric R from Jake to keep the entire team invincible and dodge a lot of the damage while getting a lot of damage of their own. And picking up the dragon for it.
Beautifully done. Even though earlier we saw Gunshark was a little bit out of position, but able to double back with the rest of the team, find a different angle was really, really beautiful there. And it's going to be Waffles to push out that turret to secure one for the team. But again, someone called PETA. I just saw Admiral Cruelty, not the Yuumi, not the die for the Yuumi.
Yeah, well, you know, Darius at passive active, you know, 1 auto is going to get you to 5 stacks. Yuumi already so squishy, with so much damage coming in, being hunted down. The cat is not escaping for free. He's going to catch an axe to the head.
Is unfortunate, you know, but okay, you know, switching it up. Intuition and ADC are gonna be in towards that mid lane now, in contesting in towards Jay, and then we got a couple CS to push it through, but Jay's gonna have some backup. Waffles is right there as well to provide a little bit of help, stall out the minions, you know, provide some CS as well, and it's gonna try to move towards that bot lane.
Yeah, and the members of Team 1 now picking up their upgraded boots. Or I think, yeah, they can upgrade their boots as well as Denoxys on the Darius up 4-0 right now. Very, very dangerous. I would be surprised if anyone could really take on this Darius alone at this point. However, there is that 350 gold shutdown that everyone has to be looking out for.
A little juicy bounty on Denoxys there. As you said, 4-0, 350 gold bounty, and they're up 3 kills as well, so it's looking a little bit rough, looking slightly rough for 5 losing rolls here, but it's still not over. You know, we got the Atacon coming through, Atacon coming through. I can't pronounce English, sorry. And it's
okay.
gonna
I don't think anyone knows how to pronounce it.
It's hard, man. You know, it's up though. That's all you gotta know. It's up, and you know they're contesting for Akari 3 winning lanes, trying to burst them down as much as possible. Gunshark, there knows what they are, but not quite contesting yet fully, and it's gonna call the rest of the team over towards bot Riverside as a little frenzy, little rumble is going down right now.
Yeah, but the damage from Otacon is just too high, and Gunshark, they're taking the Vi ult, forcing them to back off a little bit. And we're about to watch the Otacon reset without... Oh,
Imagine.
almost canceled the back there. Yeah, I was holding my breath. But Nifty is going to use this opportunity to start the Rift Herald. But looking at the map here, looks like a little fight is about to start if they know that he's there. Tuition fee approaching, getting that vision down. Maybe a fight is brewing by. 3 winning lanes has eyes on Nifty. All of the team on both sides are coming in.
Waffles and Jay are also in position. They saw that, you know, that ward there, so they know that they're close by. Has a little bit of vision. Red team's gonna secure the Rift Herald. It's going to be Team 1. They're up a lot of gold too. They're up almost 5,000 gold. Sorry, I can't do math. 4,000 gold there. So they're in a really good position right now.
Yeah, definitely picking up a lot of those early game objectives, and even going through to the mid game, picking up the Herald, as well as, you know, 3 dragons so far, 1 away from that soul. So the next fight in 1 minute is gonna be very, very important. But we're really gonna have to see sort of how this plays out and how they're gonna convert these objectives to a win, of course. As we know, League of Legends, a very volatile game. 1 bad fight, or I guess maybe like a couple bad fights, can really turn a game around, especially when we take, you know, the comeback mechanics with the shutdowns and all of those into account. But we see here, everyone is trying to gain vision control of the Dragon Pit. Team 1 really trying to, you know, push their advantage here, and it looks like a fight coming out in the top lane as well. While bot lane gets cleared. Oh, and as I say that, Denoxys with the solo kill onto Stark. I guess in those close ranges, if a Darius gets a drop on the GP, there's not much that can be done there, especially when that Darius is 4-0, now 5-0.
Yeah, Darius, Denox has been really, really confident throughout this entire matchup. You know, even though they've been down half health or even below half health, they still stayed in lane, continue to CS, you know, try to bait Stark into kind of doing that engage and getting in within range of his utility. So definitely very big game changer right now. We said top is like an island, you know, that's like the analogy that everyone makes, and that's gonna be head select trade for Team 1 here as well. And yeah, but yeah, as we say, you know, top lane has always been thought of as like island, and right now it seems like the dominator of the island is Denoxys. You know, with 500 gold bounty, it's looking real juicy for the other team, but are they able to secure that gold and shut him down is a real question.
Yeah, and they look to push their lead even further by going onto this Otacon, while ADC is pushing the top lane, claiming the objective bounty on the turret, trying to, you know, lessen that gold lead. 3 winning lanes there to back them up in case the Noxus gets a little bit frisky, trying to look for a fight, as they're going to take down this Otacon completely uncontested.
I mean, up so much gold. They're almost up like 5k gold at this point, and red team are gonna secure that Otacon. And I guess, like, if you were Team 5 losing roles, like, what would you look for to kind of turn around this game right now? Would you look for one solid, good kind of like team fight, or even trying to secure Baron, the next objective? Or like, what can they do in this situation, in your opinion, which would put them into a better position? Because right now they're losing by CS, they're losing by gold, and they're losing by kills as well.
Yeah, I think 5 losing roles definitely in a super precarious position right now. They're unable to take a lot of these team fights. They didn't contest the Otacon, they didn't contest the Dragon for the Dragon Soul. And that's because on the side of Team 1, they have so many just amazing team fight ultimates with the, you know, the Taric R for all of the invulnerability, excuse me. And the Darius ults definitely, you know, once you get 1 kill, you snowball out of control in the team fight. Whereas looking on the other side, you know, we don't really have that. You know, we might say that we have the Gangplank ult, but there's a Silas on the other team, so they also have the Gangplank ult.
Yes.
And looking at a lot of this, the play is really hard here. I think try to just hold out for as long as you can, try to scale up, because in League of Legends, you know, eventually, once everyone is full build, you cannot really get much stronger. And if we can last until that point, then maybe there's a chance to turn something around, maybe get a few cheeky picks, maybe get a really good team fight and allow your team to really catch up and try to push the lead there, of course. But That might not last too much longer if we look. Only 3 minutes left until the Elder Drake. And when that comes down, that Elder buff, it's gonna be really big, especially in the team fights. I'm not sure if they can really handle a push, but we're looking at a fight here. Jay stunning Tristana, but Yuumi coming in with the cleanse immediately. 3 winning lanes fighting Nifty, gonna be unable to do anything and have to fall back, but the flash, Nifty on to the Tristana, responds with a flash of their own, and getting charmed the Silas here, using the RER to go even deeper in and try to get the stuns in, but the Tarek R comes out before Gunshark goes down. And Team 1 is up 1 kill to none, but Tristana going in onto Nifty. So much damage so quickly. They didn't expect to be dead that fast, but Denoxys, the exhaust coming out, the charm, Denoxys has a lot of health and is able to kill the Tristana right there just based on the ultimate. And Denoxys truly seeming like so unkillable right now in that fight. Even through the exhaust, even though there was a Tristana on top of a Yuumi, but Gunshark fighting Stark here, the Gangplank burn doing so much damage, dodging the E, but it's not quite enough as Gunshark takes the kill and Stark is looking at a gray screen yet again.
It's so hard, especially, you know, you got the Herald still there, you know, just gonna take down so much. It's gonna take down so many objectives, and you know, this team 1 is looking real confident right now. What is going on? They're looking real confident right now. It's gonna be another one. Gunshark is gonna secure that turret as well, and with the Herald still up, they're gonna still be able to secure another objective, potentially another turret there.
Yeah, looking at the members of, you know, 5 losing roles coming back up, they definitely didn't really want to keep trying to crack open the base, rather going for the tower in the top lane. A pretty smart play, putting more money into their own pockets, gearing up for the next fight, rather than overextending and potentially, you know, giving up a part of their lead. But as the Baron is up, we're looking for another team fight. Very, very important. With the extra pushing power of the Baron, it'll be quite difficult for 5 losing roles to be able to hold on to this game, as we're fighting for control of vision in the topside river.
There's 7.5k goal difference between 5 losing roles and Team 1. This is a really, really big goal differential, but also Denoxys earlier too, you know, we said how confident he was playing, but look at the bounty too, 700 gold advantage, and they're gonna go for that Baron. But you know, Team 5 losing roles, they have to contest this Baron. This is basically GG in my opinion.
Yeah, and a team fight is coming out. The ult's coming on to the Caitlyn, and the Gangplank are coming in, but Tarek R is going to save everyone as ADC goes down to Denoxys, and there goes the Yuumi as well, chasing down the rest of the members, while Jay and the rest of the team are fighting the Ahri, and Stark goes down as well as 3 winning lanes has to retreat. And it looks like they're forgoing the Baron, just going to try to end the game on the spot. Everyone on 5 losing roles has, you know, they're looking at the kill screen for a very, very long time. Will it be enough for them to break open the base and get to that Nexus? We're about to find out. 3 winning lanes getting hooked by the Darius, stunned and killed yet again, and that is gonna look like
that's
the
GG.
game.
Yeah, it starts with Denoxys and it really ends with Denoxys there. 9-0-2, and that's gonna be game, everybody. GG's, and it's gonna be Team 1 taking its next level towards one step closer to making that playoffs position and potentially going for that first place prize. But yeah, let's talk about the game earlier. You know, we talked a lot about Denoxys, but can we please talk about Jay? The perfectly timed Tarek ults in multiple team fights were absolutely pivotal to keep them alive, especially during that take on Drake. You know, we saw them fighting for Drake against, you know, Team 5 losing roles, but the way that the Tarek ult was popped was saved the rest of the entire team the vulnerability, which allowed them to kind of flip that fight around and get a couple picks and then kind of take over and secure the objective. Was so expertly done. So I gotta say, in my opinion, on that team, Jay was like an MVP. It was like a secret MVP, you know? Gotta appreciate a good support.
Definitely. Tarek R so quickly can turn a fight from being really close to being not close at all. If all of your team members are almost dead, that means none of them are actually dead. Importantly, we're also keeping money out of the pockets of 5 losing roles in those fights as well. As well, using the strategy of leaving Waffles alone in the bot lane to farm under tower, using that range advantage, while, you know, Jay is really roaming around the map trying to make an impact, and an impact he did make.
With team five losing roles, also they put up like a pretty good fight too. I would say, within a mid lane we saw Akari going through it, but was also able to get a couple pokes early game and also kind of provide a little bit something more for the team too. But those are the charms. There were a couple charms that were pretty good as well, but it just wasn't enough. And we every time I feel like we looked towards the top lane, we just saw a battle between Denoxys and Stark, and it just, honestly, I'm sorry, but it felt like Denox was bullying Stark. Like the confidence that was going through, pushing under tower, the knowing, and then kind of knowing even though they're half health, just staying in that fight to kind of bait it out and to deny them CS was very expertly done. A masterclass, one would say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Darius versus Gangplank is one of those matchups where early you might think, Gangplank has the advantage, being able to poke, having that extra range, having those barrels, but it really is a slippery slope. Give Darius an inch and he'll take a mile, and eventually you just become unable to fight him, really at all. And we really saw that in this game, the snowball potential of that Darius at the end, going up 9-0, being basically unkillable. We saw, even though the Yumi popped the exhaust and the full Tristana damage coming in, it simply wasn't enough to take down the Darius.
And trying to figure out what more they can do in that situation, it's really hard given the goal disparity between the two teams as well. And even as you said, during the game, the compositions between the champs that team one chose versus the composition between five losing roles shows, there was definitely, in my opinion, just more potential for better team plays and more potential for better like usage on utility as well as abilities on on team one compared to five losing roles. But anyways, while we figure that out too, why don't we go to a quick little break, to get a little bit more insight towards the thought process of the winning team. We're gonna do a quick little interview with one of the players from team one that won tonight's winter split match up, and yeah, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Hello, UTES people. Thank you so much for joining us in this post matchup interview in the game 5 losing roles versus Team 1. We got the winner, Team 1, Gunshark, the captain himself, here for an interview. And I guess I'll start it off. My question is definitely the bans. And I was talking a lot about bans earlier, but was there targeted bans or, was there a plan for the bans earlier on during the draft against this team?
I would say we were mainly looking at their ADC and then their jungler because their jungler had a really high win rate on certain champions, and we wanted to like target ban it. That's why we banned Talia. I personally wanted to ban Tristana, but my bot lane was confident, so I said, "Oh, okay, we'll just leave that out." So we banned like Karma support and etc. Honestly, I don't remember the ban entirely, but the Talia and the Karma was like the biggest one.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because we were talking about that before the game. We really expected a Tristana ban coming out, especially since, ADC on the Tristana is very scary, but, it looks like you trusted your bot lane and they really handled it. Yeah, and so the other question that we really wanted to ask was sort of about the kind of practice that you guys do, if any, sort of as a team to get your coordination, to get the teamwork up. So if you had any sort of, thoughts about that and the kind of practice that you guys do.
Yeah, to be completely honest, because I think my entire team, I guess including me, we were kind of considering very casual. So I think we practiced as a 3 or 4 before, but we never practiced as a 5.
Damn.
And that was like we practiced like maybe once or twice before our first game, and then we never practiced.
Damn.
Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense, a bit more of a casual thing, maybe not super serious. We don't have to go full try hard with it. And after all, we're here to have fun, right?
And maybe that's why you were so tensed up for this game. It's just like, wait, is this gonna are we gonna completely suck, or are we gonna be good? But you guys came out on top. You guys definitely win it. So congratulations to you guys for this matchup and moving on for one step closer to that playoffs position later down the line. But before we go, seriously, do you have someone we have to thank? I forgot. Do we?
Yeah, we do actually. This stream has been brought to you by BMO. To help you focus on what's important, BMO has checking and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Plus, get up to 12 months of Domino's Pizza worth $190 with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/students for details. And you can also go to the BMO Next Level Twitch at twitch.tv/BMO_NXTLVL, live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, run by Sean Frame. BMO's gaming relations specialist, Sean, brings a commitment to helping viewers achieve their financial goals and has a passion for gaming as an active member of the gaming community. Once again, thank you to BMO for sponsoring this stream.
110%. Thank you again, BMO, for showing up and helping us out with all of the operations that's coming through with UTS, especially with our intramurals. And yeah, that's it for tonight. I was Z-Line, and I was joined with the lovely Sarah Soon. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next stream. Take care.